You walk into a store. Your phone is fine, but the battery's slowing down and the screen has a small crack. You convince yourself the upgrade makes sense. It's for work. It's a productivity tool. So you spend $1,200 on the latest model. You walk out feeling great, successful, on top of things. Then you get in the car and look at the phone. Sleek, beautiful. And suddenly, the old frayed charging cable sitting in the cup holder looks completely wrong next to it. So you buy a new one, then a proper case, then the wireless earbuds because the old wired ones feel out of place now. 48 hours later, that $1,200 purchase has quietly become $1,600, and you barely noticed it happening. This is not a spending problem. This is a psychological chain reaction that has destroyed more personal wealth than almost any financial mistake you can name. It has a name. It is called the Diderot Effect. And once you understand how it works, you will never make an unconscious purchase again. To understand this, we have to go back to France in 1765. There was a famous philosopher, brilliant man, co-founder of one of the most important intellectual works of his era. But despite his fame, he was completely broke. He lived humbly, old clothes, worn rugs, a rickety wooden chair in a dusty library. And he was happy, genuinely content. Then everything changed. A powerful empress heard about his financial struggles. She was a fan of his work and offered to buy his library for what would be roughly $50,000 in today's money, while letting him keep the books. Suddenly, he was wealthy. So he did what most of us would do. He treated himself. He bought a beautiful, expensive scarlet dressing gown, luxurious, elegant. He put it on and felt like a new man. But as he sat at his desk to write, he noticed something uncomfortable. The robe was magnificent. The desk was scratched, ink-stained, and falling apart. The contrast was painful. So he replaced the desk, a beautiful mahogany writing table. Then the new desk made the old rug look like dirty cloth. He replaced the rug. The new rug made the curtains look cheap. He replaced the curtains. The curtains made the chair look like firewood. He bought a leather armchair. Then new paintings, new sculptures, new mirrors. He spent months and every coin he had obsessively replacing everything in his life until it all matched the quality of that one robe. And at the end of it, he was broke again. He later wrote about this experience with one haunting line that captures everything. He said he was once the master of his old robe, but he became a slave to the new one. This is the Diderot Effect. One new possession creates dissatisfaction with everything around it, and the spiral begins. You might be thinking this is a charming story about an 18th century philosopher, but has nothing to do with your life. It has everything to do with your life. The Diderot Effect is actually more dangerous today than it was in 1765, because modern marketing is specifically engineered to trigger it. Think about the fitness spiral. You decide to get healthy and buy an expensive exercise bike, $1,500, reasonable investment in your health. But when it arrives, you realize your old gym clothes look nothing like the people in the promotional videos. So you buy proper cycling shoes, then compression gear, then a matching top. Then you decide the corner of the room where the bike sits needs to be a proper workout space. You buy a mat, some weights, a new screen to stream the classes. You did not just buy a bike, you bought an entire identity, and the bike demanded every single piece of it. This is the core psychology behind the effect. As humans, we crave consistency. We want our external world to match our internal self-image. When you introduce a high-quality anchor item into your life, it immediately makes everything around it feel inadequate. And to relieve that psychological tension, you spend. Most people calculate purchases in isolation. They look at a price tag and ask, "Can I afford this?" That is the wrong question entirely. The right question is, what will this item demand from me? Here's a real example. You decide to renovate your kitchen. Budget of $10,000 for new cabinets. Reasonable. But once the new, modern cabinets go in, your 10-year-old refrigerator looks completely wrong next to them. It works perfectly, but visually it clashes.
So you spend $2,000 on a new fridge. Now the floor looks dated against the new cabinets and appliances. You replace the floor, $5,000. Now, standing in your beautiful new kitchen, you look through to the living room and the old sofa looks sad and out of place. You end up repainting the entire downstairs and buying new furniture. The final bill, $35,000. The $10,000 cabinets were the scarlet robe. They were the anchor that made everything around them suddenly feel inadequate. If you had kept the old cabinets, you would never have noticed the floor. You would never have hated the fridge. The upgrade created the dissatisfaction that did not exist previously. If this is already making you think differently, subscribe right now. This is what we do every single week. Here's the part nobody talks about. Upgrades often make your life worse, not better. When that philosopher had his old robe, he used it freely. He wiped his pan on it, he sat anywhere, he was completely comfortable. When he got the new robe, he became afraid of ruining it. He lost his freedom. He became a slave to the object. When you buy an expensive new white sofa, you stop letting people eat in the living room. You stop letting the dog up. You stop actually living in your own home because you're protecting the furniture. You become the curator of a museum, not the resident of a life. The possession starts possessing you. Here's how to break the cycle. 3 practical strategies that actually work. Strategy 1. Calculate the system cost before the anchor cost. Before any significant purchase, pause and ask one question. What else will this item demand? If you buy a gaming console, will it demand a better television to see the graphics properly? An extra controller? A subscription service? Write down the full system cost, not just the item price. If you can't afford the full system, don't buy the anchor item. You're not buying one thing. You're opening a door to everything that follows it. Strategy 2. One in, one out. The Diderot Effect thrives on accumulation. You add the new item, but keep the old one and then try to make everything match. Stop that pattern completely. Every time something new comes in, something old must leave. Buy new shoes, donate an old pair. Buy a new kitchen appliance, the old one goes. This keeps your environment in balance. It prevents any single item from becoming an anchor that makes everything else look inadequate in comparison. Strategy 3. Keep your anchor items humble. This sounds counterintuitive, but it's one of the most powerful financial decisions you can make. When your most visible possessions are modest, everything else in your life costs less to maintain. Drive a reliable, older car, and nobody expects you to wear an expensive watch to match it. Keep your anchor items simple, and you create what I call a low-maintenance identity. And a low-maintenance identity is one of the most profitable things you can own. It frees you from the endless spiral of matching, upgrading, and curating. It lets you quietly build wealth while everyone around you is busy maintaining appearances. 300 years ago, a philosopher bought a robe and lost everything trying to make his world worthy of it. Today, millions of people do the exact same thing. Different robe, different century, same trap. There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things, but you need to understand the game being played around you. Every premium product you buy is an anchor designed to make everything around it feel inadequate. Every upgrade creates new dissatisfaction that did not exist the day before. The purchase doesn't complete anything. It resets the board and starts the spiral again. Before every purchase, ask one question. Am I buying this because I genuinely need it or because something I already own is demanding it? The answer will save you more money than any investment tip you'll ever find. Don't be a slave to the robe. Be the master of your life. Subscribe to support us. See you in the next one.